Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back, possibly, hopefully. Hope you've been doing well, and we have one more little experiment that we've been wanting to do that we are fitting in before the end of the year. Again, related to the pedal board that we're putting together, although not quite as much. This is more for shits and giggles, let's say. We've got a better idea about what order we want pedals in, and we just want to see what kind of effects we can get when we have certain things before a fuzz. So today we have Space Bender, our recent focus of special interest, in its lovely colouring here, Lilu colouring as we like to refer to it, and the Dweller. And we chose to put the Space Bender before the Dweller because of some nice effects that we were getting with it in that order from our previous video about which we prefer having before which. That may not actually be a choice we have to make on the pedal board because of its wonderful pedal order switching capacity. But then we have the fuzz that we are using, which is not, as we have mentioned in our last video where we had the Space Bender after fuzz, this is not our favourite fuzz to use with the contrabass clarinet. However, we did find it to be extremely enjoyable with our freeze pedal, the Super Ego Plus. So we are using it because it is not currently nailed down to our pedal board, and by nail I mean Velcro, and it is still a decent enough fuzz. We have the expand kind of always on, currently bypassed, and let's just dive in. Same fuzz setting we were using in the last video. You can probably see the settings there. We are going to, for this one, use the same sample throughout. And this is our full range of the contrabass clarinet sample. So we will have a listen to the sample, then we will put the fuzz on for the sample, and then we will dive into seeing how these sound before fuzz. Here we go. Okay, with the fuzz. And there we go. So the basic way that that's structured, that sample, is we have in the first breath the sub bass range going down and then up in the second. Then we have the bass range going up, and then the lower mids going up and down, and then the bass range going down. So we will probably be using it with the volume up and down. So let's start off with just some Dweller, and we'll see what kind of effect on the Dweller we want to start with. So, what we're going to do is we're going to try something relatively simple with it on ×1 mode. Slow kind of speed, mid to slow speed, slightly higher depth. And like a reverb, like a modulated reverb kind of. Yeah, getting into more of the flanger territory there. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we had in mind. Something that's a little bit more like some kind of modulating chorus. Okay, so very interesting. So pretty easy to hear the difference there. Very interesting effect that it has on the fuzz there. Let's make the speed a bit slower and the depth a bit higher. Something more like this with less depth. Compared to okay, let's go back to a basic sound on the Space Monitor. That's very interesting there. Like a metallic ring to it. Let's go for that phasery kind of sound that we've been... yeah, nothing particularly special there, I think. Yeah, I don't know, personally that's more like what I'm getting with putting on the pedal board that we've currently got setting up, putting in the horizon through our Jackson Audio modular fuzzes. But there's more variation on the Hydra. I'm sorry, Hydra. What am I saying? I'm thinking of the Hydra, the horizon, because of all of the different waveforms that are available. So the flanger thing, not quite so interesting. Let's try another little like chorusy kind of thing. Kind of like noonish, the intensity back down there. Yes, just something a little bit more subtle there. yeah, definitely adds in some interesting roughness there. Okay, let's go into actually just for a second. Let's see how that sounds with the intensity high. Very interesting. Yeah, it's getting a bit extreme, but like... yeah, that's quite pleasant. Although we lose the low end there, it's interesting. Okay, yeah, that's interesting as like an artifact kind of thing. It muddies the lower end though, so that would be something to be careful of. But I wonder, let's turn the fuzz off. Let's see if we can come up with something that we like. I mean, intensity it's just very high. So this is kind of like the flanger. I wonder if we put the envelope on as well, if what we would get here. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, this is quite interesting to me, but also I'm not finding this as like, I'm much preferring the space bender as an effect after the fuzz, I think, than before the fuzz. Is a general conclusion I think that we can draw here. That said, let's look at times 10 delay. And we'll do this kind of thing where we've got some depth to the modulation, but a lot of like basically the full length of the delay, the fastest delay. So first of all, without the fuzz. Here we go. Very interesting. That's fascinating. I like that. Maybe this is like best used for when it's not like sustained notes. So this kind of thing, that adds some really interesting texture to it. But when it's yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting and quite beautiful effect, but not as effective as something like that. That's lovely. Go on, let's do an extreme thing. Yeah, that's great. Why not? Let's max it out. And just without the fuzz, so that you can hear the difference, I want to go from low to high intensity. Interesting. Okay, let's try it with high intensity. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I would love to use that for an effect. Yeah, with this lower depth at a very fast rate. Yeah, the Space Bender is such an oddball of a device. I love it. Okay, now with the envelope. With a less reactive envelope, it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful noise, and I think that with the fuzz that we prefer as well, that will be really something quite special. But not as an always-on thing. Not as an always-on thing. I think it's just, this is something that one saves for special occasions. Especially with that length. I mean, intensity does seem to give generally like a longer delay as well as more intensity to the modulation. Okay, let's move on from the space bender to the dweller. So as mentioned, basically a simple delay, a simple phaser, and then when they get combined, when the depth is brought up on the phaser, this delay gets expanded out into some kind of amazing effect, which is very difficult to kind of pin down. But let's get a nice long delay going. Maybe we don't need so long. We'll see how it sounds, but also not too many repeats. Okay, so let's turn it on. Okay, we'll let it a little bit longer. There. Okay. Bring the depth up on the phaser. Now, the thing that I'm interested in putting this through a fuzz is what kind of texture we can give to the sustain. So let's compare that with a triangle wave to see if it gives it more texture. Yeah, I think you see what I mean then, where it's going to be interesting to see how that goes through the fuzz. Also, I think more depth is often helpful for getting more texture in these weirdly modulated delays. Yeah, you can hear the difference there. It's just a bit more, perhaps it's obvious to say, but spiky with the triangle wave. Then we've got our random square waves. Yeah, I don't know, let's try the triangle wave. Typically I'm a fan of the ones on either side, but let's try with the triangle wave. Yeah, let's... There we go. That's the kind of texture that I'm looking to put into the fuzz. Here we go. Okay, to my mind, that's glorious. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, a kind of thing where it's just like a background suggestion of it with the mix. With a few different notes. It doesn't need to last long either. I mean, like, to have it as a suggestion of a trail. Almost like a line noise or something. Yeah, it's lovely. I really like that. Let's try the square wave. And let's get some nice depth in there as well. Yeah, you can hear how that, when the depth is all the way out, that actually cuts out somewhat as well. we were to make that like really fast. Ooh, that's nice. I mean, it's almost like the space bender in the ×1 mode at that. Yeah, I do think the depth is maybe too much there. It's like some kind of textured reverb. And the fact that it's different every time as well is really appealing. Ugh, love it, love it. Taking the stretch back. And let's go back to the triangle wave. Yeah, I mean, this is just lovely. Dweller before fuzz. I mean, yeah. Let's slow the rate down on the phaser there. Oof. Put the rate, the depth up just a little. And I mean, if we were thinking about soundscapes, it's almost a soundscape in its own right, you know. Yeah, just the random patterns that come up, I love it. Let's go back to the more ordered square wave here. I'm sorry, triangle wave. Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. So what we're going to do now, a slightly different idea is, and kind of simpler, is just to add some really heavy phasing. Because I do believe that this this phaser is somewhat different to the Horizon, especially because we can actually, so the Horizon has its M phase section, which is kind of like this, but the regen here almost makes it as though it's like a flanger. So we're just going to play around with that and see what comes with that. But first of all, we're just going to find a nice. We're going to go back to the sine wave there. Slower rate, I think. Let's hear it without the fuzz. Quite a subtle effect. Let's see what the depth is like all the way up. I mean, already that's kind of intense, but when we add the regen... Okay. Yeah, surprisingly not that interesting effect. Let's try the square wave. Okay, that's a bit more interesting. I mean, almost like a filter sequence. Ooh, yeah. I think that's because it's the low notes. Okay, definitely square wave was the standout with that kind of intensity. Okay, one more just for shits and giggles. That's quite enjoyable. Very interesting. Okay, well, that has been a fun little bit of playtime there. What I would like to try now, though, to finish off, is something that combines Space Bender into Dweller into Fuzz. And this is something that we quite enjoyed when we were figuring out which of these two we preferred to go first in the chain. And this was independent of any fuzz. So it's an effect where we have the flanger, and let's get that set up. There we go. Going into a kind of textured delay from the Dweller. So we'll go back to the sine wave, something like this, not too much regen, reasonable amount of depth, slightly slower speed maybe. Let's try without the space bender first. Maybe a little more depth. And then by adding the space bender, we get that little bit of extra harmonic content each time. I mean, we could even put the speed up a little, I think. Maybe we'll want this a little closer together. Oh, one more thing we haven't really played with the dweller, let's see how it goes, is to change the voice to a higher, oh dear me, what's the term? Stage. It's a higher stage phaser. Oof. Lovely. Okay, we're going to be playing with both of those voices there, I think. Here we go with the phaser now. I'm sorry. Not the phaser. With the fuzz. Here we go. Oh, yes. I mean, this could be a whole, like I said before this video, a whole soundscape in its own right, I think, with the right treatment. Let's try the other stage. Okay, let's just go full on with this, I think, and let it run. Very nice. Okay, well, that as our final little sound experiment for the year has been very satisfying, and definitely is promising us some good times ahead with the pedal board. To be able to, let's turn that off to get rid of the buzz. To be able to harness this kind of thing for actual composition, for songs and timbre, is filling us with all kinds of enjoyable feelings and excitement, and just looking forward to the new year and having the pedal board ready and being able to dive into some bringing things together. Well, I hope this has been as interesting and enjoyable for you as it has for us. And until next time, please take care. And happiest of New Year's to you.